Hey guys, it's your girl Shamar, back with another one. Guys, look at this map, right? I want y'all to pay real close attention here, right? Interesting. You know why this is interesting, guys? This body of whatever's underground seems to go through like 7 states, right? Yeah, it does. Reminds me of like the 7 cities of gold, huh? Yeah, if that's all oil and water and resources under there. Right, guys? Anyway, this is this one area. They call it Coyote Gulch, right? The Ogallala Aquifer. This area is really, really important, guys. This is where the dew from heaven is, guys. This is where the waters of deep are at. I think personally, those 7 wells might be here, guys. Yeah. We're going to keep digging on those, but we're here today for something else, guys. I told y'all in that episode earlier that I saw a reference to the Four Corners area being called a sacrifice area, right, guys? If you ever look at the map of this side of the Americas, it's going to be very dry looking, right? And then all of the sides of the states to the right of Oklahoma and Kansas will look greener, while to the left of Colorado and New Mexico and Wyoming will look drier. Right, guys? Now, I told you guys that I read that this was a sacrificed area, right? So I'm going to get into what I meant by that. All right? This was the area that they were going to deplete and suck dry. All right? Everybody was going to get their cut. It's the last meal. Right, guys? Yeah, they were going to get their cuts and divvy it up. All right, guys? Now, in 1983, a movie was released, guys. It was called The Four Corners, a National Sacrifice Area. It said it examines the culture and environmental impact of energy development in Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. All right, it was a film narrated by Peter Coyote, right, guys? What was that Coyote reference again? Kind of reminds me of Benjamin, the ravenous wolf. But I ain't gonna steer y'all down that path, right? They won a looks like some sort of award back in the day. Check that out. The movie we never even knew came out. Did you guys? Because I didn't. Check this out. What was this movie about? Let's see. The Four Corners, a National Sacrifice Area. The Four Corners documents the cultural and ecological impacts of coal strip mining, uranium mining, and oil shell developments in where? In good old Utah. All right, guys, what I've been telling you. What has Shamar been telling y'all? Judah. Oil shell development in Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. Homeland of the Hopi, the Navajo, the Mormon cultures. All right, who else was it homeland to, guys? Y'all know Joseph's children. It examines Peabody Coal Company's massive Black Mesa strip mine and the history of uranium mining on the Colorado Plateau, including the 1979 Church Rock tailings spill on the Navajo reservation, where high levels of lung cancer and birth defects have resulted from decades of radiation exposure. The film challenges the U.S. government policy of locating destructive energy projects in remote national sacrifice areas and illustrates serious environmental justice issues 10 years before that term was coined, concluding that the extraction of coal and uranium involves huge hidden costs. Right, guys? It ain't no hidden cost over here. I done told y'all. The Torah told us that the earth is being plundered. Four Corners argues for development of alternative energy from solar and wind, along with a major conservation initiative. 7 weeks tour of the Southwest Spring. So it's going to tell you here that it went on tour, right, in 1983. It won an Academy Award. This is the documentary none of us heard of. Four Corners is a beautiful, impressive, and thoroughly honest film. I hope millions of people see it. Well, we need to watch it though, don't we, guys? To see what happened to our land. So check this out. Let's see what this article tells us. TV, Four Corners, energy in the land. So this is from the New York Times. Got some way old article here, guys. Thought I'd be able to zoom in on that, but I can't. I could read it in the app, but... Oh, down here. Here we go. The Four Corners, a national sacrifice area. It's not just another documentary, thank goodness, about the march of technology and its savage effect on the environment. The documentary, even though it comes down heavily on the side of the environmentalist, it's more thoughtful than that. It'll be seen on Channel 13 at 10 o'clock at night. Now, did they really want this to be seen? In 1983, was we watching anything on Channel 13 at 10 o'clock at night? No, we weren't. The documentary was produced for public television by 3 filmmakers. They received funds from the federally financed Arizona Humanities Council. This led to criticism from the National Endowment for Humanities, which said that the federal funds should not have been used because the documentary did not examine the humanities, history, or philosophy. So they were against it, all right? They didn't want this to air. It says here, whatever the controversy means, not much. One suspects Four Corners raises an important question: whether the hidden cost of uranium mining, which is how they get their nuclear energy, coal strip mining, and oil shale projects on the Colorado Plateau outweigh the short-term gains. It has never been a short-term gain because they're still collecting royalty checks. That's all they care about. They think they're going to take the money and run. And then they think they're going to go hide in something that they've built. It strongly suggests they do, and in making the suggestion, drives a large dagger into the heart of administration, thinking that calls for the development of federal lands in the America West. The 90,000 square mile Colorado Plateau, taking in parts of Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona, the so-called Four Corners area. Guys, didn't I show y'all that Four Corners area earlier with the medicine wheel? They say this area is rich in coal, uranium, and oil shale, all of which produce energy. It is also rich in a history of boom or bust economies, some of which have violated the land and its people. Who let that happen, guys? Huh? Uranium mines and mills, for example, have left millions of tons of radioactive waste scattered about the plateau. The scientific evidence is not conclusive, although the documentary suggests that these wastes have led to an increase in birth defects, miscarriages, and infant deaths. Something is going on, a doctor says in the documentary. There's a good possibility it's more serious than we thought it was. In response, the Los Alamos Scientific Laboratory has suggested that land in which the uranium mining and milling is conducted be rezoned so as to forbid human habitation. Now, mind you, guys, they think this land should be rezoned. Mind you, this is like the breadbasket of America, though. This zone right here, this is where everybody's eating from. So now we know why the cancer rates are out of control, right? It says that it should be forbidden from habitation. Whatever the scientific or humanitarian impulses for the suggestion, it is clear that the energy production is a high-stakes game. Meanwhile, a National Academy of Science report found that coal strip mining could permanently damage the plateau, resulting in national sacrifice areas for energy. A few years ago, the chairman of Exxon suggested that Northwest Colorado, rich in oil shale, be declared a national energy zone in which the usual environmental protections would not apply. Now, you see this? Did I not tell y'all that they would not stop going until there's nothing left? Even though they know the damage that this is doing, they know it's making them rich. On the one hand, it's easy to deplore all of this. On the other, we're still left with questions of how we can. This is what they want to do with Joseph's land, the promised land. They want to keep going till there's nothing left. They want to bleed it dry. We're still left with the question of how can we best meet our energy needs? The documentary doesn't really have the answer, but it at least asks the question. It also points out, almost inadvertently, that community control, an article of faith in trendy 1960s politics, doesn't necessarily offer an answer either. Local leaders on the Colorado Plateau have all called at one time or another for strip mining, uranium mills, or oil shale development. Four Corners includes an interview with a representative of Utah International, which wants to mine in Bryce Canyon National Park. He says people would spend more time looking at the fantastic panorama if they could also see a coal mine. He says it would add to the interest. The documentary is making us pay attention to a problem. What do you know, guys? Here's the funny thing. In 1983, this documentary came out. Anybody ever heard of it? None of us did. You want to know why? I decided to look out what else came up in 1983, right? What other movies? Oh boy, we were distracted, weren't we, guys? We were distracted. Fair use for the purposes of education and criticism, right, guys? We were distracted by movies like The Outsiders, Scarface, Trading Places, Risky Business, Star Wars, Terms of Endearment, Flashdance, Christine. We were distracted, guys. Yeah, we were. Splash. I remember these movies. Crow. All of these came out in 83. Cujo. These all came out when the most important movie that we could have ever watched about our land that was taken from our forefather told us what they were doing. And it told us that our land was being sacrificed for greed. That this Four Corners area was being plundered, just like the Torah told us. But we were distracted, guys. Mama's making sure we ain't distracted no more. Much love to you guys from the front line. Pay attention, guys. Take care.